Right. I want to real quick go through the ordering procedure to give some guidance here on making the COVID-19 Relief Fund request orders. So first, what you want to be able to do is look for an order that is in green, and we're going to initial as our purchaser. So I have an order pulled up here, request number 700. This is actually going to the Stress and Trauma Treatment Center for PCIT kits. And so I'm going to start off and I'm going to put my initials here. That way, just in case somebody else might be looking at the same document, they may try to choose that, but we want to make sure there's some kind of notation that I'm making that order right now. I want to make sure all my purchases are through Amazon Smile. Amazon Smile account does allow us to get a donation in that effect. So right now on Amazon Prime, all I have to do is switch to Amazon Prime or Amazon Smile, and it automatically uploads my account here. Now, when I'm uploading my account, I also, I could have things in the cart. It's okay to have it in the cart and then go to Amazon Smile. As long as you're in Amazon Smile before you make the purchase is all that's needed. So if I go to a Chromebook, Samsung is the Chromebook that we've decided is one of the best, and unless you have preference for another one, just totally fine. But let's say I want to get this Chromebook right here, and we choose to purchase that. We're going to add that to the cart here. We're not going to get any accident protection plans for these. There are also, we want to make sure folks know that there's no returns. Unfortunately, there's no exchanges. These are gifts that there won't be the availability for returns. Now we have a message here. We want to make sure that this message is available in all gift boxes or all gifts that are sent out. Also want to remember that I do not have to spend the entire amount on the approved total. So leftover funds can be used. We'll be able to use them for other clients, other needs that maybe something was forgotten or skipped on accident. So $2,100 is what I have to work with, so I want to stay within that with some few exceptions. That there's a food need or a toiletry need. We're not necessarily trying to buy more Chromebooks or other types of things, but instead we have that. So I'm going to go to proceed to checkout. I know that I have to stay under my total amount, so I have to keep track of that $2,100 here. When I'm placing my order, right now it's sharing it with the Stress and Trauma Treatment Center. So what I want to be able to do is I want to change this, and I might end up having to enter in this information to, in this one here, since the Stress and Trauma Treatment Center, I'm actually going to edit this one. And I want to make sure and edit that there is a number here that reflects the request number. So if I go over to the request number, I'm scooting over here, request number 700. So for 700, I want to make sure that this number is here. So I want to put space in parentheses the request number at the end of every name. So it might be Matt Buckman, space, parentheses, 212 in parentheses. This is how we're going to be able to search and find within the Amazon record all records of invoices and changes that have happened. All right, so then I'm going to use this address, since I actually didn't end up changing it, but you'd want to change it. For shipping. So again, we're considering shipping here first. Now, when we consider payment method, we're going to use the default payment method that is in the system and the default billing address. So the billing address is, we want to keep that as Fairway Vista Road in Murfreesboro. That is set up for the account. Now, some of you may be prompted with join Prime free for 1 month and get free shipping. And go ahead, you can join that for 1 month. Just remember, we have to turn that off before the end of 30 days. And so let's go ahead and join that. But we're going to go with free shipping. Anything that has a shipping cost, we're going to order something different. We're not going to purchase things that have shipping costs in them. Then I go in and I can place my order at that particular point. And that's totally fine. Unfortunately, there's not a gift option available for this particular one, but let me go back a little bit here and see what we got. If I picked a different item, and that way I want to show what this looks like. So let's say I get something like a workbook. I'm just going to pick a random workbook here, and let's say it's this one, and I'm ordering this, and I add it to my cart. I go into my cart here. This order contains a gift. I want to make sure and mark that as a gift. Proceed to checkout. Again, we want to keep the same type of agency there. Use this address. Yes. And then here's where I want to make sure and put my message. So we hope this is just some kind message that we hope is going to be helpful for folks to make them feel better. Some things may not have that option, and that's okay if it doesn't have that option. And save gift options and continue. And then I get into my payment method, and I just want to make sure my payment method is always the same method and always has that address set to it. Again, we want to pick the free version of this. And if we have a short enough version, we want to be able to get to that as quick as possible to families. And so we're just going to pick the free version. We just want to confirm that. And then over here, I'm going to confirm there's no taxes being collected. There's no shipping and handling being collected. I'm going to back out of this because I've actually already made these orders. Again, make sure we remember we don't have to do that. If we can, buy local. Local is not always going to be possible, especially with computers and things like that. I want to replace or put the request number in there. No delivery charges. We've already covered that. Priority. So when I look at my request and I'm looking here at what's available, the first priority is that I am spending approximately $50 per person on food. That's the first priority. We can get gift cards, but if we get gift cards, they will not go to families. If gift cards, that means you're going to go through and do all of the purchasing for them. So there are going to be some agencies that will allow for gift cards, but that means that agency will have to collect all the receipts and get them to the Bouchard Foundation after the purchase. Instead, we'll probably do more purchases on Amazon Pantry or in Amazon and then sending these food care packages. But the first priority is food. So in my request that we just looked at, there's not food in that one, but I want to make sure and use the majority of the request for the food first, regardless of what someone has requested for. They may have requested for clothing and things like that, which are important, but if I'm approved for $300 and there's 6 people in the house, the only thing I'm going to be purchasing for them will be food. And so I'm going to do food first. Then it's going to be necessities or needs for babies and children under 5 years of age. So I'm going to start with the youngest kids in the home, and then I'm going to progress into older children. So whenever it comes to clothing, I'm going to first get the clothing for the younger kids. We're going to get diapers, and if diapers are requested, we want to do up about $100 worth of diapers, which is a lot of diapers, but people have needs for that. If it's baby formula, we're going to do about $100 worth of baby formula as well. And again, if it's a $400 request, there's 3 people in the home. I'm going to do $150 worth of food, $100 worth of diapers, and $100 worth of baby formula before I then consider the next option, which is other toiletry and basic needs items. And we're not going to be giving gift cards at this particular point, unfortunately. Fourth priority, phone cards. Getting those phone cards for educational and treatment participation. That's another one. But also maybe some internet connection, but right now phone cards is the preference for that. Educational and treatment materials, books, workbooks, treatment incentives, even Chromebooks or devices that might be necessary for it. Then utilities, but we do not anticipate a lot of utilities being spent. There's not a procedure for that, so you'll have to talk with me about the procedure for purchasing utilities. And few gas cards. If you do get gas card, each family or each request can only get up to $20 in gas cards. So although we will help with that, oftentimes we don't have enough funding to get down to the 7th priority unless that's the only thing that they have requested. And again, remembering we only do $20 worth of that. After I'm done, I want to make sure and note that the order is complete by coloring it pink and coloring it pink and writing order is complete. So if I go back to my order here, and although you all didn't see me do this, I did finalize this order, and order is complete. I'm going to say yes. And then I'm going to put in the total dollar amount all the way to the penny, because this helps us know how much was spent and how much is in receipts, and how much is left over for utilization for other things. And so we want to put the actual cost in there. I hope that this brief tutorial on the procedure is helpful. If you find yourself challenged, if you find yourself with an exception to the rule, all of those will probably go to me. However, what I will first do is try to follow the procedure so that there's a systematic way to be able to make these orders and get them to families as soon as possible. The last thing that I'll say is that if a family is not able to receive something at this particular point, you think they're going to need it later on, you think that it's better that the agency keep it until they need it. Let's say that a youth is not living in the home right now, living in another home. We can hang on to that item until the youth comes back home in, let's say, a couple weeks or a month, if you think someone else might end up taking that item because it's not safe to sit there until the youth comes back. So then we can have that shipped to the agency when in doubt. And as much as possible, what we want to be able to do is, if we're doing Chromebooks and things like that, that these items are used for treatment purposes, meaning they're focused, needed, and will be available for others to use as well. So that when we do treatment purpose types of like Chromebooks, a little bit of exception if there's something significant, but the agency, if that stuff's going to be given back, the agencies are the agencies that will get it, and they are to be used for other families after that. And anything that is kept by any of us also returns back to agencies, and for the lifetime of those items are to be used with youth and children that are at risk or currently have experienced victimization. Thank you all.